You can work that out, or you can grab pencil and paper, do it in your head. I don't care. Just I want the final answer and get as far as you can go on that.
Three.
Yes. So we got -1 plus 7 over 6 minus 4. 6 over 2 is 3. Very good. Now, as a reminder, slope is rise over run, but the rise means it can either go up or down. The run, though, is always to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Always. No exceptions. Okay. All right. So, for example, and I don't think we did this last time, but let's just say the slope is 2 over 3. This means you're going up 2 and right 3. And if the slope is -5 over 4, this means you're going down 5, right 4.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, where we could run into issues is what if the slope is just like 2? What does that mean? Well, every number can be written as a fraction. You remember how to write 2 as a fraction?
Uh, 2/1.
2 over 1, which means you're going up 2, right 1. What if the slope is -5? Well, we haven't done, let's do -3. How do you write that as a fraction? Well, it's -3 over 1, which means you're going down 3, but right 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is maybe like a little bit new, things like that. So we closed out our last lesson doing a lot of slope problems. So I'm going to have you do a couple of those for practice here, and then we'll move on to something new. Yeah, grab maybe some new problems we haven't looked at. Do you remember the slope formula? It's okay if you didn't, I'm just asking.
I don't think off the top of my head, but
Okay, so I'm gonna give you that slope formula. I'm not gonna write it down each time. You've got to write it down.
okay.
So it's y2 minus y1 x2 minus x1. I would encourage you to write it down every time you do a problem. That will help you to remember it. These are subscripts. They refer to the fact that there's 2 ordered pairs. There's a first ordered pair. There's a second ordered pair.
Okay.
So let me know when you're ready for the first question.
I'm ready.
All right. So give me the slope between these 2 points, please.
I got -1/2.
-1/2. Okay, let's take a look here. It is 0 minus 4 minus 5 minus 3. That's -4 over -8. Do you want to make any changes to your answer?
Yeah, I didn't. I did +4 over -8 instead of -4 over -8.
Yeah, so the subtraction operator, as you know, maybe just who knows what, that goes with the number to the right. It's like an adjective.
Mhm.
It describes the noun. So this reduces to 1/2. Okay. Now tell me in words what this means. What does the 1 mean and what does the 2 mean?
Uh, ooh, I
So what
don't
I mean by
understand.
that is what we're doing up here. Like tell me what, like I was like, what 2/3 means you're going up 2 and right 3. That's what I'm looking for here. What does the 1 over 2 mean?
Uh, up 1, right 2.
Up 1, right 2. Perfect. Yeah. Very good. Okay, I'm gonna have you try another one of these slope problems. You could calculate the slope there for me, please.
I got 1/3.
All right, 1/3. Let's take a look here. So we've got -2 minus a -4 over 1 minus a -5. Does that look kind of like what you've got down on your paper?
Mhm.
The double negatives become positive. And you are correct. It is 1/3. Very good. Okay. Any questions or thoughts on that?
I don't think so.
Okay, great job on that. So we're gonna do some new stuff. I'll just work out a few problems here for you. Just to see if you think something you could do. So in math, there's these like forwards problems, which is what you just did. Like I give you the numbers and you put them into the equation. And then there's always a backwards problem. And this is a backwards problem. Okay. They're telling you the slope. They're saying the slope is 1. And this time it's like, okay, well, it's -2 minus y. And then on the bottom here, it's -9 minus a -3. So like normally they give you y and you have to find m. But this time they're giving you the slope to find y. Does that make sense to why it's a backwards problem versus a forward problem?
Mhm.
All right. So on the bottom here, this becomes -9 plus 3. On the top, well, it's just -2 minus y. What is What is minus 9 plus 3?
-6.
6. The equation is 1 equals minus 2 minus y over -6. And I don't know if we've solved anything like this, but do you remember how to clear a fraction like this to eliminate it?
I don't remember.
Okay, and that's fair because I don't know if we've covered it or not. You multiply both sides by the bottom. So what that does is it eliminates the bottom. Okay, now on the left, you're multiplying here. -6 times -1 is -6 equals -2 minus y. All right, now do you remember how to solve an equation like this?
Uh,
Like we did
that'll
some
be,
two-step equations.
yeah. So
What would,
adding
yeah,
2,
adding what? 2 to both sides, good. And so -4 equals -y. Have we solved it?
um,
How do you undo this negative in front?
add 1.
So you remember, it's really a -1 times y. So you undo that with division.
Oh, okay.
All right, so y equals 4, like that. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay, I'm gonna do another one with you. I'm not gonna like ask you to do one on your own. Just have you help me solve these. Um, and then we'll move on to something else after this. Okay, so the setup here is normally it's slope equals, right? But this time you know the slopes or you know m. So you put that number in for m, the 2/3, like that. Is that okay?
Mhm.
So far? And then it's it's 2 minus y again. And then it's 3 minus 9 on the bottom.
Okay.
So now tell me, what does the bottom become?
-6.
-6. Okay, so just like the previous problem, we clear the fraction by multiplying by the number on the bottom. So on the right, these just cancel. But on the left, do you remember how to multiply a whole number by a fraction, maybe from a previous course?
I don't know.
Okay, so the whole number is really it's really a fraction, right? We can
Mhm.
write as -6/1.
Okay.
So remember, you multiply the tops and then you multiply the bottoms.
Mhm.
So what does the top become?
-12.
Okay, over
3.
3. All right, so what does that become?
-4.
Okay. Would you try solving this equation from here? It's kind of like the last one.
Sure. I got 6.
Y equals 6. Very good. Okay, excellent. All right, any thoughts on that before we move on to something else?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I'm gonna put two problems in front of you, something we did early on yesterday's lesson, but I didn't really give you any practice questions on, but here we go. Give me the slope of each of these, please.
Okay. For the first one, I got 1/4, and the second one, I wasn't sure which dot to start on.
You always go left to right, left to right.
Okay, so that'd be 4/-2.
Does that reduce? Can you simplify that? The answer, if I'm asking you, probably means you do. Like, I'm not trying to be
Yeah,
deceptive, but yes, it does. So try to figure out which direction you want to go with that.
that'd just be -2.
Yes. Very good. Any questions, thoughts on that?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Are you doing any flying? Are you involved in airplanes at all?
No.
Really? Okay. All right. Slope is related to flying, as you can probably see. Okay. Next thing we move to are called equations of lines. Do you know any equations of lines? There's three. I mean, you don't have to know any of them. Just throwing it out there to see if you know anything about any of them.
I don't know.
Okay. Have you ever seen this before?
I think so.
Okay. So this one is called slope intercept form. It's not very creative because M is the slope and B is the intercept. So it tells you what's in there, which I think is kind of weird. So the name sometimes helps you. Okay. So let me give you some examples of this. Let's say it's y equals 2x plus 3. Okay. The slope is always the number in front of x. Now, in front of means to the left. So what number is to the left of x?
2.
2. So the slope would be 2. The b value is the other number, but it includes the sign or the operator. So in this case, it's positive 3.
Okay.
So b equals 3, like that. Okay, so here's another problem, another example. Let's say it's y equals negative 5x minus 4. The slope is negative 5, and the b value is minus 4. Okay, so the slope includes the operator as well, the sign.
Mhm.
And then minus 4 is the b value. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at another example. Let's say y equals 1/2 x plus 2. What do you think the slope is in this case?
Mm,
What is the number in front of x?
1/2.
1/2. Yeah, and we've already seen that slope can be a half, and the b value is 2. What if I give you something like this? Minus x plus 3. What is the number in front of x?
Would that just be -1,
Yes. And what is the b value?
3?
Good. Okay. Now, another example here. Let's say I write this as x over 5 plus 1. The slope in this case, in this new problem, is 1/5. Why do you think the slope is 1/5 in this new problem we're doing?
Because x could also just mean 1.
It could be 1x, right? And so a way this could be written is 1/5 times x plus 1. Like these are the same. These are exactly the same. They're just written differently. Trying to think of a good example of where else you might see that, but so the slope, I'm sorry, the b value is then 1. All right.
Mhm.
Any questions, thoughts on this before we kind of move on to another topic?
Um, no, I don't think so.
Okay. So the next type of problems we're going to do. So there's the slope formula. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is called the slope formula, or the formula for total slope. Okay. Y equals mx plus b is an equation of a line. Okay, these are not the same. Do you agree that these are not the same?
Mhm.
They're not the same, but you'd be surprised how often I ask students for the slope formula, and they give me this down here. This is an equation of a line containing slope, but this is the slope formula.
Mhm.
Okay. So we're going to focus on this right now. Okay. And I'm going to give you some problems. Like I'm going to tell you, okay, let's say the slope is -2 and it goes through the point 3, 4. Okay. So what does this mean? Well, the first thing you do is you put the slope in for m. So this becomes y equals -2x plus b.
Mhm.
So there were 4 letters, y, m, x, and b. Now there's just 3. The second thing you do is you put the point in for x, and y. So in this case, x is 3 and y is 4. So you
Okay.
say, okay, it's 4 equals -2 times 3 plus b. How many variables are in this equation?
1.
One, or one letter. So you then solve for b. Okay, so 4 equals -6 plus b. Add 6 to both sides. 10 equals b. Okay. Now you're not done. The last thing you do is you put b back into the equation. So our equation was y equals -2x plus b. This b value goes in, this 10 goes in for b. So it becomes y equals -2x plus 10, like that.
Okay.
So now we're going to do a couple more examples just like this, but they're kind of all going to be the same. I'm going to give you a slope, a point, and we're going to solve for b. All right, so let's proceed here. Let's say I tell you the slope is, what did I do in the last one here? Okay. Let's say the slope is 3 and it goes through the point -1, comma 5. So the first thing you're gonna do is write the equation with the slope. Y equals 3x plus b. And actually, let me write the equation of a line. I should have done that first. Apologize. That it's kind of like the slope formula. You should write it every time until you have it memorized. So we put
Mhm.
the value of 3, or the slope, in for m. What is the value of y from the ordered pair here on the right? Which one is y?
5.
5. Which one is x? What's the value of x?
-1.
Okay. Could you solve this for b for us, please?
Sure. Or b equals 8.
B equals 8. Very good. So once you solve for that, you put that back into this line right here. Okay. So notice that your answer, very important, that your answer has both an x and a y in it. All right. So
Mhm.
this is your final answer, has to have an x and a y. Sometimes I see some things with students, and I'm like, wait, you can't, you have to have an x and y in your answer. So kind of an important thing there.
Okay.
So let's do another one. Let's say the slope this time is -2/3, and the point is 6, comma -8. Okay. So it could be a fraction. The slope could be a fraction. That's not unreasonable. It's y equals -2/3 x plus b. Okay, so notice I don't substitute in the point. I always just substitute the slope in first. Then you
Mhm.
substitute in the point. -8 equals -2/3 times 6 plus b. Now you can write 6 as a fraction. If you remember, we did that earlier. Talk about that. Could you reduce this for me and tell me what -2/3 times 6/1 becomes?
-4.
Yes. So we have -8 equals -4 plus b. Add 4 to both sides. b equals -4. And that goes back in right here. So your final answer is y equals -2/3 x minus 4, like that.
Okay.
Let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to go up and scroll up so you can get one of these down, or maybe you got it down in your notes. You're going to do some problems for me now. And I don't, if you need some time to write it down or questions, let's do it now before we jump into that.
Okay. I'm gonna write down this one.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Okay. Somebody, you got that down? Any questions before we get started on that?
I don't think so.
Okay. So let me give you the order pair. Right. So try this one, please. Let me know what you come up with.
Okay, I got y equals -3x plus 1.
Like this.
Mhm.
You are correct. Very good. So if you try another one here. Let's try. All right, let's try that one.
I got y equals -2/5 plus -6.
So I hope there's an X in there. I didn't hear that, but maybe you meant that.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's what I meant.
Okay. And you got 6 for B.
Oh, I had -6.
-6. Okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, so I was focusing on the wrong thing. Good, good. Okay, so how would you gauge the difficulty of these?
I don't think they're too hard, just once you know how to do them.
Exactly, exactly. So let's do a couple of other problems here. No, that's not going to work. Let's see here. So now looking for another style of problem, and these don't work out as nicely. Right. See if I can find this. Give me just a moment. Let me, so we're going to kind of go back a tiny bit here. So the next style of problem here is that they want you to write the equation of the line. But what they don't do is they don't give you the slope. But they give you 2 points. So what can you do with 2 points? That we did earlier in the lesson.
Um,
You can find the slope.
mhm.
So will you find that slope for us, please?
Mhm. I got -1/4.
That is correct. So let me get that in here. -3 minus a -2 over 4 minus 0. Very good. So when we write the equation line, it's y equals -1/4 x plus b. Now this time though, we have 2 points that we can choose from. 2 points, right? We can either use the first point or the second point. And you might think, well, there's a fraction here, I don't know how that comes into play, but I chose this one because either point would actually be okay. Do you have a preference? Does one of these stand out to you that you like? There's not a right or wrong answer. It's just something stand out to you.
Not really.
All right, so we're gonna look at the first ordered pair. And we have -2 equals -1/4 times 0 plus b. So what does that become? What happens when you multiply by 0?
Just becomes 0.
Becomes 0. So -2 equals 0 plus b. So b equals -2. So that goes back in here, and your equation of the line is -1/4 x plus -2 or -2. You could say -1/4 x minus 2. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we use the other ordered pair, do you think we'll get the same answer? What did your intuition tell you?
I'm not really
Let's
sure actually.
let's find out. So -3 equals -1/4 times 4 over 1 plus b. Will you multiply this fraction for us, please?
That'd just be -1.
Okay, so we have -3 equals -1 plus b. Add 1 to both sides. What do we get for b?
-2.
Put that back in here. So we have y equals -1/4 x minus 2 or plus -2. Is that the same as this? Are these the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the same. So it doesn't matter which point you use, is the point,
Okay.
which is nice because sometimes there's one that's better than another.
hmm
All right. All right. Really, I don't have enough time to do another question here. Let me just have you find the slope of this one, and then we'll close out with that. So go ahead and find the slope, please.
I got 1.
Okay. All right. All right. Great job today, Hudson. So next week you're going to have class. School